welcome to the Pro Gun live stream. Today is Saturday, July 25th, 2026. We'll give a few minutes for people to join. Hey, Duke. Welcome, brother. So what do you think about that mess with your governor in New Jersey there, Duke? Welcome to Kevin, Common Sense. Yeah, you see, Duke, I was already talking about the voter fraud in New Jersey about a week ago. And now your Governor Mickey admitted and said that there were 6,000 unregistered or undocumented people that were registered voters. Now it turns out to be 35,000. And she refuses to turn those records over to the DOJ. That's fraud. She should be in jail for treason, and they should put Jack in office. Oh, yeah, go Google that there, Duke. The DOJ now is estimating that it's 35,000. Why do you think? And then she blames it on a computer glitch, and she blames it on Governor Murphy. And you already know that the voting fraud in New Jersey was ridiculous, right? They don't require any identification, and you can validate that because you live there, and we used to live there. But the huge win in New Jersey was that the Third Circuit now ruled that a ban on high-capacity magazines and AR-15s are unconstitutional. And what's making Governor Mickey over there go ballistic is that one of the judges that agreed to this was a Biden appointee judge. I'm cautiously optimistic for the people that live in New Jersey. I could tell you because I'm old, but that magazine ban was going on in New Jersey for 36 years, back and forth in the courts. They still need to iron out the sensitive places in New Jersey, but a win is a win. I know the Attorney General in New Jersey is exploring options, but they need to be careful because the Third Circuit already ruled that it's unconstitutional. And if they appeal this, the Supreme Court may wind up ruling in favor of us for every single stupid gun law New Jersey has. I mean, the Supreme Court is going to look at it and say, how many times are you going to appeal this? You've been appealing these gun bans for 36 years. I mean, enough is enough with that already. So, you know what? A win is a win. We're going to see how this actually plays out. My understanding is that the New Jersey State Police already sent out a memo, And there's companies like Gun Mag Warehouse who um, are now uh, selling standard issue mags, which is what I've been saying for years, that there is no such thing as a high capacity magazine. That's a term that the liberals made up. Magazine that comes with a firearm is standard issue. It's not high capacity. The liberals just made that up so that when they said anything over X amount of rounds is high capacity. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the Ruger 1022 250th anniversary. I just saw one yesterday, and on this one, the stock on one side has got absolutely gorgeous engraving with an eagle and 250 years and past presidents. That is a sweet looking gun. Yeah, that's the more expensive version. That's more like, $570. But it is a classic. I mean, the workmanship on that, it's just absolutely beautiful. Being that this is a live stream for you guys, I'm going to start trying to get people more involved. I'm reading your comment there, Duke. Yeah, I'm eventually going to get one. I looked around at Grab a Gun, and right now, those 250th anniversary Rugers are out of stock everywhere. I'm sure they're very difficult to get, but I'll wait till the end of the year. But that will definitely be a classic. So I'd like to get people more involved now instead of me just babbling. So I will type in a topic and let you guys answer it. All right. So my question to you guys is, how many people actually carry a revolver? What brand and caliber? And I think by doing this and having it more interactive, more people will participate. Like I said, I do this stream for you guys. Oh, that's right, Duke. You can't carry New Jersey. I have a good friend of mine in New Jersey that owns a gun store called Gun for Hire. It is a flagship gun store in New Jersey. It is the biggest gun range in the tri-state area. It's owned by Anthony Calandro. He's an awesome guy. And on his podcast the other day, he had pictures of all the brand new AR-15s and standard issue mags because they're not high capacity anymore. I would bet you in New Jersey, people are going to be going apeshit. There's going to be such a backlog of magazines and AR-15s in New Jersey like you've never seen before. The good thing, though, is if you go to Gun Mag Warehouse, they will now ship to New Jersey. Prior to this, even if you were buying a 10-round mag from them, they wouldn't sell to New Jersey, Connecticut, California, New York, and Illinois. So we'll take that as a win. A win is a win. Well, that's a good choice there, Common Sense, Karen. Um, a Rossi is a good quality revolver. Uh, Even though they're owned by tourists, I find that the quality of the Rossi is actually even better than the Taurus. And I mean, revolvers are making a huge comeback, and I can understand why. Makes a lot of sense. A lot of people are just not comfortable carrying with one in the chamber. And if you're going to carry a firearm and you're not going to carry with one in the chamber, um, that's like putting on your seatbelt after you hit the tree. The nice thing about the revolver, you can keep around in every chamber, and you have to physically pull the trigger. So it's much safer. It's also easier to operate. There's no controls. You either cock the hammer and pull the trigger, or pull the trigger. That's it. There's nothing to remember. Um, you have a collection of semi-automatic pistols, and controls are in different places and operate differently for all of them. A revolver is definitely a good choice. It's also a good choice for when, people start getting older and they don't have the hand strength, or they have arthritis or a physical disability. It's very easy to cock that hammer. And then when you pull that trigger and it's single action, it's very, very light. And I highly recommend it. Um, I do carry them from time to time. I have four. They're all 3-inch barrels because I find that 4-inch barrels are a little bulky to conceal. 3-inch barrels are the sweet spot for me. So I have a Ruger GP100, 357 Magnum, Smith & Wesson 686 Deluxe. I have the Colt Viper and the Python. And I do carry all of them from time to time. I do have a lot of guns, but I do carry them all at some point. I think the only one that I really don't carry is my Glock 20 because it's just too big and bulky. Now, my next question to you guys, and I'm just curious, is how many people use a Kydex holster? I mean, I prefer leather, but there are times that I do use a Kydex holster. Um, and when I use a Kydex holster, I like the Nate Tactical from uh, Crossbreed, and the model is the Executive. Matter of fact, I just got one in the mail to review. Um, but most of my expensive guns, like my Delta Elite, etc., I'm not going to carry $1,000 gun in a plastic holster. So now I'm going to leave it up to you guys to ask questions. I don't understand your comment there, Dominic. I do carry every gun I own. Uh, Depending on where I'm going and um, what activities I have, sometimes I'll change the gun I'm carrying twice a day. Depends on what I'm doing. You know what, Duke, in New Jersey, I really don't see them fighting the court ruling either, because they need to be very careful with that. Because New Jersey still has a lot of stupid gun laws on the books. And if they appeal this thing and the Supreme Court rules, um, the Supreme Court is going to say, you've been appealing this for 36 years. Enough is enough. And they may rule all of the other stupid things that New Jersey has on the books. The one good thing about this also is prior to this ruling, um, when you bought an AR-15 in New Jersey, they classified them as three evil things. So if you bought an AR-15 with a pistol grip, you couldn't have a collapsible stock or a flash hider. Well, now that stuff all goes out the window with the assault weapon ban being unconstitutional. Now, it was ruled by the Third Circuit Court. And like I said, one of those judges was a Biden appointee. And I give the woman a lot of credit for being able to use common sense. Um, I commend her for that. Being that she was a liberal, um, she could have gone the other way. Dominic, I don't understand what the hell you're talking about here. You know what, Dominic? I think it's time for you to go back in your mommy's basement because I think you're just being a horse's ass. Well, it didn't take long, Duke, for the liberals to start crawling out of their parents' basement. Yeah, we've been very lucky lately. Um, I'm assuming that they're just sleeping later. We still need to get this national reciprocity thing going. Um, but it does look like, the DOJ now and the Trump administration is finally doing something for our gun rights. Well, you can come to Tennessee also, Duke. Depending on where in North Carolina, um, you can get to North Carolina in about an hour from Tennessee. You can pick up a lot of goodies here too. Matter of fact, you could even buy long guns in Tennessee and take them home. And there's no firearms ID required. Okay, everybody's got to have an opinion on this. What's your all favorite caliber and why? Duke, I know yours is 40. Yeah, there's a lot of good hunting down there. And I tell you, you ever do get to um, North Carolina, pop over to Tennessee, give me a shout out. We'll hook up, go to some gun stores. The good thing is there really is no bad caliber. It's all based on what you train with and what you uh, shoot well with. Like I said, when I teach my students, um, I always tell them to go to a gun range, rent a few guns, and buy the biggest caliber gun you shoot best. And if that happens to be a 380 or a 9 millimeter, that's fine. Well, it sounds like a plan there, Duke. Get down here next year. We'll hook up. We'll go to Bud's, Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo, um, Tommy Gun. There's there's so many gun stores down here in Tennessee. Could even buy ammo at Tractor Supply down here. And Rural King is an awesome store too. I like the way the shelves are. Like their ammo is like the other side of the potato chip aisle. I tell you, Duke, like for me, literally, um, Bud's Guns is a great store. They're in Sevierville, Tennessee. It's about 30 minutes from here, but practically in the same parking lot is Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo. Hey, Dale, good morning to you. Thanks for joining. Um, yeah, so if you go to Bud's Guns, practically in the same parking lot as Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo. And then by where I live, maybe 15 minutes away, we have Tommy Gun. And literally directly across the street is Rural King. And Rural King's got a lot of good sales on guns. Um, they have an online website, but I mean, if you go in the store, um, when they have a sale going on in the store, it's tough to beat sometimes. I think I got my Hellcat Pro um, with the gear up package with the 5 magazines and range bag, etc., for $539 on sale. Um, I'm assuming you didn't get your carry permit in New Jersey, Duke, but if you do come to Tennessee, you can carry your gun here because you don't need um, a permit to carry. Yeah, that sounds like a nice setup there, common sense. I did not get the optic package. It was optic ready. I know they at one time they were shipping. I believe it was um, the Hex Wasp optic, but I when I got mine, it was the Hellcat Pro, 5 steel magazines, and a range bag. Yeah, yeah. Dick sucks. I don't know if they did it nationwide, but like down here, they don't even sell guns and ammo anymore. Um, Next Saturday is a grand opening of Academy. They're opening an Academy, uh, I don't know, 10 minutes from my house. Um, my wife and I went to an Academy once in Knoxville, and I wasn't really impressed with their prices. I found them to be very steep. Um, but yeah, Dick's is definitely a bunch of liberal bastards. That's for sure. And depending on where you are, Duke, if you're in South Jersey, used to be Ray's Sporting Goods. I think it was in Somerville. And he used to carry a lot of stuff. Yeah, I won't ever go into a Dick's, but fortunately, we have so many gun stores down here. We got Smoky Mountain, we have Bud's, we have Tommy Gun, we have Rural King, and we got Crossroad Firearms in Knoxville. I mean, there's just so many gun shops down here that who cares? Hey, Mike, thanks for joining. Yeah, we have a Bass Pro here in Kodak, which is actually 20 minutes for me, and actually, um, Bud's is only 10 minutes from there. And the Bass Pro here, I think they're a little high on their gun prices, but for reloading, I bought 1,000 large pistol primers. They're Winchester, and they're still $49.99 1,000. I mean, that's pretty much pre-pandemic price. Um, and I definitely got to start stocking up on more because um, I told you guys a while back that ammo is going to start going up, and I've seen it. It's going up now. So, time to stock up on powder, primers, brass. I only buy brand new brass now, and I buy Starline. Yeah, I just avoid Dick's altogether. Uh, Matter of fact, I like I said, I'm a well, you know what, common sense, ammo is still available now. My prediction is that the government already lost the battle on guns, right? I mean, they can't control the guns that are out there. But they can do is they can control the consumables. Um, they could just make powder uh, primers illegal. They already implemented this stupid hazmat fee a couple years ago. So now you you find powder that you want that's $25 a pound, and they charge you $35 hazmat fee. But like I said, the government already lost the battle on controlling firearms, good guys and bad guys. But what they can do is they can really put a damper on consumables so that we can't manufacture. I agree with you, Pezzo. And I'm telling you, just like Mike said, you watch, they're gonna start adding such ridiculous taxes to all the consumables, powder, primers, bullets, cases, where it's going to be so expensive even to reload. That's why I would stock up on that stuff now. Can never have enough ammo. I probably have 50,000 rounds sitting on my workbench. But anyway, there are also companies that are anti-gun that I won't give a penny of my money to. And believe it or not, one of them is Levi Strauss. So I took all of my Levi's and threw them out, and I wear Lee now. Another big disappointment is that Buffalo Wild Wings is anti-gun. They do not let you carry in Buffalo Wild Wings. Even though we're in Tennessee, it's company policy, can't carry. So I won't go there. The funny thing is, you're not supposed to carry in government buildings, right? I go to the post office a lot, and I always carry my firearm. Um, and a couple of times I even said to the lady, oh, crap, I forgot to put my gun in the car. And she said, oh, you're okay. I mean, they don't bother you down here. Hey, Trix, welcome. I have, I was given a product to review a long, long time ago. And unfortunately, I put it on the table and I forgot all about it. And it's called the Brass Goat. And it attaches to your AR and it catches all of your brass. Hey, Trix, all's well here. Hope you're doing well too, brother. We do have some new people on the stream today. For those of you that are new, we do this every Wednesday evening at 8 Eastern and every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. It is an open forum, and we do it for you guys. So don't be shy to ask questions or make comments for or against any guns or gun products you got. Maybe you'll help somebody else from making a mistake. I was using Talon grips, and I was sent these grips from Def Grip. I haven't tried them yet, but I'm going to do that this weekend. You don't really have many options on a polymer frame gun. I've been using Talon grips for years, but these grips from Def Grips also wick moisture, and they feel a lot better. So I'm going to try that out and see how it works. Also on my Facebook feed, I've been getting a lot of ads for the Tac Nation gun mount for your car. So I got one to see what it was like, and I'll be reviewing that this weekend as well. And again, he's not out here today, but I want to thank Ozzy again for that beautiful 1911 holster he made for me. Yeah, that's the problem, Pezzo. A lot of these companies now, they all have their DEI, But any company that I find out is anti-gun, I just do not give them my business at all. So let's hear from you guys now. What is the favorite gun you own? And I know the more guns you have, the harder it is to pick, because I definitely have that problem. I know Duke's favorite's got to be that 40 caliber. Yeah, that Dan Wesson is a sweet revolver. Um, I agree, Trix. Wilson Combat makes awesome guns. Um, Streets of St. Paul. Sorry about that you live in Minnesota. Um, I live in the great state of Tennessee, so we don't have any restrictions here. And I'm sorry, these comments are going by very quickly. So Trix. Um, it's funny, Magnum Research. Um, they opened a Tommy gun down here, and Tommy gun is owned by Car Firearms, which is owned by the Unification Church. And Tommy Gun owns Magnum Research. They bought Thompson submachine guns. They own Auto Ordnance, and they own Car. Yeah, Streets of St. Paul. It's awesome living in Tennessee. We have no restrictions, and effective July 1st, 2026, in Tennessee, it is also now legal to use deadly force to protect personal property. Trix, that Tommy gun in Pennsylvania is where it started. Now they have one down here in Morristown, Tennessee. And they have a church now. I believe they call it the Rod of Iron Ministries. And people bring their AR-15s to church, and they bless their AR-15s. And then when church is over, they go out in the backyard and they dick around and shoot their guns, which is pretty cool. Tommy gun is owned by Koreans. They own Car Firearms. And they are huge Trump supporters. They had an open house last year, and they had a whole bunch of Trump stores selling Trump paraphernalia. And I guess the Moonies realize that there's more money in firearms than there is in church, because the Unification Church owns all those firearm companies. Matter of fact, I believe the one in Pennsylvania, I think it's actually called like Kahr Boulevard, Kahr. Those guns have been around for a long, long time. It's just funny. I never knew that they were associated with the Moonies. A lot of the younger people here won't remember them, but um, us older people remember the Moonies. And uh, Reverend Moon is, I believe, the uncle to the owner of Tommy Gun. So that's pretty interesting right there. 600-yard range. You know, I always wondered about that, Tricks. I mean, I'm old. I have a hard time seeing my sights as it is. I don't know how the hell you can shoot at 600 yards and see the target. Yeah, that's funny, Pezzo. Um, when we lived in New Jersey, a good friend of ours moved to Pennsylvania, and that was about 15 years ago. And he used to brag to us about how great it is living in PA and you can own whatever you want and it's so gun friendly, this and that. It's amazing how that changed. Beautiful Earth, welcome. Yeah, the Tommy gun store down here, um, like I said, they bought Thompson a couple years ago. Um, Unfortunately, they don't have a range here, so you can't shoot them. That's the problem I have there, Tricks. I've never been a long gun fan anyway, because when I was a kid and my dad taught me to shoot, I learned how to shoot a 357 and a 45 Colt when I was 12. Um, so I've been a handgun guy my whole life. I own a few long guns, but I very rarely shoot them. The only one I do shoot is my Henry Big Boy. Hey, Drop 'em, welcome. Thanks for joining. See a bunch of new people on the stream today. Glad to have you all. If you like what we do here, we do this stream every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern and every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. If you haven't done so, subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, share our videos, like our videos. I think I have almost 1,000 videos out there. And thank you, Beautiful Earth, for subscribing. I appreciate that. Hey, Kevin. Welcome back, brother. I never heard of a company called Numeric Arms. Um, who else used to be in the? Kimber used to be made in not in Yonkers, New York, and Kimber moved to Troy, Alabama. Yeah, I'm telling you, Mike. If you're not reloading ammo, do it now. Um, During the pandemic, I reloaded a boatload of ammo, and you don't start building an arc after it rains. I remember the Ithaca and Remington. Um, yeah, and it amazes me that some of these gun manufacturers are still in states that are not gun friendly. I mean, that's why Ruger had enough and they moved out. Um, Smith and Wesson had enough; they moved to Tennessee. Again, I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the comments, and they go by very quickly. Yeah, Kimber used to be in Yonkers, New York. They moved to Troy, Alabama, I think 2 years ago. Um, Smith and Wesson moved to Tennessee. Beretta moved to Tennessee. Uzi moved to Tennessee. Yeah, I get it. There, beautiful earth. I mean, but it's like gun manufacturers, like in New England states, right? Hey, Cannon, USMC, all's well here. Hope you're doing well too. Kevin, that's a great question. Um, Henry used to be made in Bayonne, New Jersey. They've since moved to Tennessee as well, and they also have another manufacturing headquarters in Wisconsin. At Christmas time, I bought a Henry Big Boy 357 lever action, and I was very happy when I got it because it is stamped on the side of the gun, made in Bayonne, New Jersey. Um, but they are not made in Bayonne, New Jersey anymore. They are in Tennessee and Wisconsin. But I got to tell you, the workmanship on that Henry Big Boy, it's absolutely gorgeous. And it shoots just as well as it looks. Hey, Chris. Well, yeah, I would not think that you would be using a 22 for defense anyway. But I got to tell you that Henry Big Boy is probably the most beautiful rifle I've seen. Um, it's got the gorgeous walnut stock. Um, all the banding is brass. Uh, Octagonal barrel. Um, the lever action on that is smooth as silk. The only thing is they have those buckhorn sights, which I guess I got to get used to it. I'm just not really a big fan of it now, but eventually, the more I shoot it, I guess I'll get used to it. I am loving that Colt Delta Elite I got a few weeks back. That is definitely one of my favorite guns. I know Duke doesn't like it because it's 10 millimeter instead of 40. And I don't see Jib Jab out here. He's hasn't been here for a while. Drop them. Where are you shooting raccoons? Because they're nocturnal. So my understanding is if you see a raccoon in the daytime, that they have rabies. Yeah, go on, Duke. Jib Jab knows I love him. I just like busting balls with the people that use 40 calibers. I mean, so you're in Utah and you see that many raccoons in the daytime? My understanding is that if you see a raccoon in the daytime, that they have rabies. Oh yeah, I bet you there is a whole bunch more at night. Yep, that's a good one, Pezzo. And let me tell you, there's nothing like a hammer-fired gun. I mean, unfortunately, you go to the gun store, and every gun that's out now is a polymer frame striker fire pistol. Um, you know, it's getting harder and harder to find hammer-fired guns, and in my opinion, even the worst hammer fired trigger is better than any striker fired trigger I've ever shot. Didn't know that, Mike. I haven't hunted yet. Maybe when I retire. Um, I always wanted to go turkey hunting, and there's a lot of them. I mean, the woods across the street from my house. Um, I've come home from work and I've seen 25, 30 turkeys um, on my front lawn. Damn, Chris. Yeah, I would have shot that thing too. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Rossi Brawler. Um, the Rossi Brawler is a single shot pistol that will accommodate 410 shotgun shells or 45 Colt. They are single shot. It's got a 9-inch barrel. Um, and I'm thinking of getting one of them just for the snakes. Um, put 410 shotgun shell. And they're a hell of a lot of fun too. And they got a 9-inch barrel with a pick reel on the top. It is the Rossi Brawler, and I've seen them on Grab a Gun for 200 and something bucks. Just the woods across the street from my house, Duke. We have bobcat, we have mountain lion, we got coyotes, um, deer, turkeys. That's why I wanted their beautiful earth. We have there's a lot of copperheads and rattlesnakes in Tennessee. Um, and, you know, it's illegal to kill snakes in Tennessee, but unfortunately, in my mind, any snake is a dead snake. Um, oh, you're in Colorado. Well, yeah, in Tennessee, we have a lot of copperheads and timber rattlers. Um, and I always get nervous when it's dark in the backyard because um, our property in the backyard slopes up, and then there's a tree line with a whole bunch of pine trees. And I always wonder that worried that there's going to be rattlesnakes up there because our Great Dane is all black, and when it's dark out, you can't see him. And he's always screwing around up there by those trees. Yeah, you do have a lot of snakes in New Jersey there, Duke, starting with the governor. And that sounds like a nice one there, Chris. Formerly New York. Well, I'm close there, beautiful Earth. We're originally from New Jersey. Um, we lived in Bergen County, about 15 minutes from New York City. Syracuse. Yeah, I know where that is. That's a piece from where I used to live, but anyway, I'm thinking of getting one of those Rusty Brawlers. If nothing else, just to screw around with in the backyard. A year or two ago, I was sent. Um, yes, Kevin, I was still in New Jersey 9/11. Um, we moved to Tennessee 7 years ago. You know what, Chris? That Middle Eastern lunatic mayor that they voted for in New York just shows you um, how stupid uh, people are. Yes, Kevin. Jersey City was not far from us. And yes, you could see the smoke, you could smell it. It was horrible. Yes, New York is a great state if it wasn't for the government. Um, I agree that that governor is um, a lunatic. Yeah, I don't know, drop him. Believe it or not, I have my notifications on too, um, and I don't get them either. Pezzo, Tennessee is one of the best states in the country, honestly. Um, that's one of the reasons we moved here. Um, no restrictions. You're allowed to now use deadly force to protect personal property. Um, no carry permit required for open or concealed. Um, it's an awesome place to live. Yep, Florida too. Yes, beautiful art. Tennessee is also a beautiful state. I had to tell you, like the state parks in Tennessee are absolutely gorgeous. They're very well maintained. Um, one of the reasons my wife and I moved here is because we ride a motorcycle, and we've probably taken the bike down here a half dozen times. And every time we took the bike here, um, we look at each other and say, you know, I could live here. And I went to my boss's office one day and said, if I moved to Tennessee, could I keep my job and work from home? And he said, I don't care if you live on the moon. Um, we were gone in like 6 weeks. Hey, Trix, yep, you're from Jersey City. I used to work in Jersey City when I was at Morgan Stanley. Um, I worked at Harborside. And yes, across the river was something you'd never forget. Yeah, Kevin, that was a great boss I had. Um, and the funny thing about it was that not only when I asked my boss if I could move to Tennessee and work from home, I still got paid New York salary for living in Tennessee. So there's no waiting period in Tennessee either. No firearms ID card. Matter of fact, you can go to the gun store here, buy all the ammo you want. They don't even ask for a driver license. Um, you could buy long guns here and take them home with you. Um, like I said, if you go into Royal King, the ammo shelf is right next to the potato chips. So it is awesome. It's too bad that they ruin these states, right? Thank you, beautiful Earth. I appreciate you joining the stream. Hope to catch you again. Nice tricks. Yeah, I used to take the train from Elmwood Park to Hoboken, and then in Hoboken, I would take the path right to Harborside. So that was awesome. Wow, time really flew today. Um, I'm glad that we got all this participation. It made it a lot more fun. It made it go faster. And I'm sure you guys would rather do this than to hear me babble the whole time. So thank you all for getting involved, and um, we'll definitely be doing this from now on. I'll be back on in how long? Okay, drop them. We do this stream every Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern and every Saturday at 12 noon. Yes, Kevin, Rutt's Hut, that is the shit. They got those splitters. They put the hot dogs in the deep fry machine. Man, that's pretty much the only thing I miss about New Jersey is the food. Um, we don't have diners in Tennessee. Um, I was spoiled where we lived. It was like Little Italy. We had Italian pastry shops and Italian bakeries everywhere. Um, in I lived in Woodland Park, Kevin, on the borderline of Patterson, um, and the food was awesome. That's the only thing everything else in Tennessee is awesome. The food is fair at best, but to me, if that's the worst thing about living here is the food, I'm okay with that. Um, but yeah, New Jersey had the best food, man. Best pizza, best subs, um, best Chinese food. Um, Nothing down here compares to that. But we are a free state, so I'd rather go with that. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining and participating the way you did. And I guess being this worked so well, we'll keep the same format from now. Have a blessed weekend, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.